Fluorite looks like Umbral. She's hot, whatever. But outside of that, she's so bad. Suck it. No way, I dodged it. Bro, I hate these stupid ass worms. Hey guys, it's your boy Sushi here with another Arknights Endfield video. So this video is going to be all about the new endgame mode, Umbra, I think Monument it's called. I've just been calling it Umbra, let's see. Yes, so Umbra Monument right here. We're going to be going over first a tier list of characters that are worth investing solely for Umbral Monument. Then the second thing we'll go over are the boss mechanics or the stage mechanics for the Umbral Monument fights. And then the third thing is we're going to be talking about the rewards for this endgame mode. Are the rewards good? Are the devs generous when it comes to this mode? Okay, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is we're going to be showing a tier list made by Khan, one of the Sushi Lightning community members, and he also streams on Twitch, Arknights, PGR, Woo every now and then. So I'll link his info in the description. So shout outs to Khan for putting together this tier list for us to go over today. Okay, so the tier list is going to be how worth it is to invest in this character solely for Umbra Monument. Okay, so I'm gonna share the Discord image right now. Okay, cool. So we have tier 0, right? Tier 0 means absolutely worth the investment to put into Umbra, like 100%. Like you should have this character build if they're not built already. Okay, for Umbra specifically, and then we also have T 0.5, which is like they're really good. I don't know why the thing is like that. Okay, that's better. And then tier 0.5 is like they're super duper strong for Umbra, but not like as good as tier 0. Then we have tier 1. Those are the characters who can definitely clear Umbra with like a little bit of a skill issue, right? Like you have to try a little bit harder than tier 0 and tier 0.5. And then tier 1.5 is like either these characters are not as good as they used to be, or like why use these characters if you can use the characters above them. And then tier 2 is like these characters are very team specific, or they're not, or they don't give enough value for you to put in investment into strictly solely for clearing Umbra. Okay, so let's talk about each of these characters. So starting at tier 0, these are the best of the best characters. Okay, so Ardelia is, you guys know she puts a bunch of debuffs and she heals, right? And she gives free corrosion and stuff like that. So you guys already know, right? I got P2 Ardelia. That sucks, but she is very, very good. Okay, guys, she's very, very good, especially for the stage where there's like poison and stuff, which we'll get into a little bit later. But yeah, pretty much she's insane. You should have her built. Everybody got her for free, so definitely build her. Then we have Akikuri, who is there for generating SP and buffs. Okay, she generates a lot of SP. You guys know the skill points and stuff like that. You need the skill points to interrupt the boss's skills. You need the skill points to deal damage, all that good stuff. Then of course we have Levitain, or Lava Cake, as I think some people like to call her. She is just the strongest unit right now in terms of AoE damage and single target damage, right? Obviously, she's not going to be nuking as hard as strictly single target damage dealers like Last and Yvonne, but overall, for the entirety of Umbra, since there are two group stages, like multiple mobs and stuff like that, and then the last stage is like two bosses, Levitain is the best overall, most worth investing into specifically for Umbra Monument. Okay, now let's move on to tier 0.5. Tier 0.5, we have Pog right here. You guys know he is the king of the physical damage team. And the only reason why he's not tier 0 is because the rest of the physical characters are dog. Okay? They're literally dog. He gives a lot of free SP. He gives a lot of good off-field damage. He's absolutely insane. So I've had some of my viewers clear with Pog, no problem. With physical team, no problem at all. Avowena, or Avowena, I actually don't even know how to pronounce her name. She's a 5-star character, but you guys most likely will have her with like multiple dupes, if not max dupe already. So if you guys play the Lightning team or Electric team, you guys should be fine clearing with her as well. Okay. Gilberta is also tier 0.5 because she's a very good character for grouping and applying debuffs. So overall, she's very, very strong if you guys decided to pull for Gilberta, or you got lucky and you lost the 50-50 and you got Gilberta anyway. So those, I would say, are definitely the top 6 characters that you should invest in if you're struggling with clearing Umbra. Okay, now let's talk about tier 1. Tier 1 is like these characters, they help quite a lot. You can definitely use them to clear Umbra with relative ease, right? Not as easy as Tier 0 and Tier 0.5, not as easy as Tier 0 and Tier 0.5, but these characters in Tier 1 are still very, very strong. So first up is Perlica. You guys know, insane. She's a very strong sub DPS, and she can fit into pretty much any team, right? I think people use Perlica in Last Rites team. You can use her for her electrification buffs or the debuff on the enemy, and she's very strong. Okay? She's a very strong free unit. You guys already know. MC or Endmin or Penguin, whatever you guys like to call the administrator, is a free main DPS and very solid, right? Very solid character, not the best, but definitely not the worst as well. So like very, very good. We also have Antal. So Antal, let's talk about Antal before we talk about Last Right and Yvonne. Antal, he's very good for single target DPS because he applies some really good buffs and debuffs in electric and fire teams. Okay, so he's only good just for that. That's why he's in T1, right? So if you're running either the Avowena team or the Levitain team, then definitely for the third stage with the single target bosses, he's absolutely insane. Okay, and now let's talk about Last Right and Yvonne. So you guys know they're both ice DPSs, right? If you want to use a Yvonne, great. If you don't want to use Yvonne and you pick Last Right from the free selector like I did, then you can use either one, right? They're both super duper good. They're both the strongest single target nukers, so they're the best characters for nuking. I'm sure you guys have seen the one shot Last Right videos, the one shot Yvonne videos. You instantly nuke one of the weekly bosses instantly, you know. So they're very, very good for that. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to tier 1.5. Once again, these characters are like suboptimal. Okay, they're not really that good, but some of them have some interesting mechanics that can definitely help you clear Umbra Monument. So let's talk about Ember. So Ember is definitely the easiest one to cheese with any team. Okay, the reason why I say that is the bosses themselves, the stages themselves, they're not really too hard to beat. Like they're not like they don't have HP inflation like Honkai Star Rail or whatever, right? So each stage gives you 10 minutes. That is plenty of time. Okay, and the reason why Ember is so good is because she gives you a shield, right? Especially for that first stage where there's poison, right? And you take damage every time. You don't really need to use Ardeli if you don't have her, you don't want to use her. You can definitely use Ember. She puts up the shield, and you can just tank the poison for a very long time. Okay, so she is like a pseudo sustain because you guys know she doesn't really do any damage, like at all. Okay, so then we have some other characters. Zaihi, she only has one team, so if you want to run her, go ahead, run her. Arklight also has one team. Li Feng also has one team. Depan, he was nerfed since the beta, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this tier, right? So really, the only character that I think is really usable and really worth investing in if you are struggling and you haven't invested them already in the tier 1.5 is definitely Ember, right? If you're playing any of the other four characters, you should pretty much already be building their specific elemental team, and you should already know what to do with them. Okay. Now tier 2, these characters are specifically like only used for one team, or they're easily replaced, or they're just straight dog water. Okay. So let's talk first about Wolfguard, Rossi's older brother. Can't wait for Rossi to come out. She might be the only lolly I ever pull in any gacha game. But anyway, I digress. So Wolfguard is only used for the Levitain team. Okay, all he does is apply heat. So unless you're running a Levitain team, then he's pretty useless to you. Okay, don't level this guy up if you're not running Levitain. Okay, absolutely not. Chen, you guys know I love Chen from the story. She's cute, she's funny, she's silly, all that stuff. But she's pretty much the most replaceable physical team character. So you can use anybody else, but if you like using Chen, use Chen. Okay, the content is not that difficult where you must use a certain team or whatever, which I think is amazing, which is very smart from the devs, right? Later on, when the game has been out for a couple months and people have 2 3 teams built, okay, then you can start talking about multiple teams and things like that, right? But right now you only need one team. There's no restriction like that just yet for Umbral Monument. Okay. Who else? We have Stella, Alesh. They're used for solidification team. Snowshine and Catcher. They're only really used in Umbral Monument, right? But you guys know like these characters aren't really that good, right? I don't know if they'll ever buff these characters, But you're probably not going to get any value out of leveling them unless you like them, unless you have a specific team for them. But yeah. Then we have Fluorite. You guys know Fluorite was super hyped before the game came out. The only note is that Fluorite looks like Ubel. She's hot, whatever. But outside of that, she's so bad. Oh my god, why is she so bad? Yeah. So that's it for this tier list. Okay, guys. So now we're gonna go into the game. We're gonna read the mechanics. We're gonna explain the mechanics just a little bit, and I'll put some gameplay of my runs and stuff like that over while I talk about it. And then I'll also put the full runs of the gameplays at the end of the video if you guys want to watch that. So heading back over to the game, okay, heading back over to the game, we're gonna read the mechanics for each of the fights. So over here, permanent Umbral Monument. I've been saying Umbra, bro. I've been playing like DNA. I've been saying Umbra instead. But anyway, let's just talk about the mechanics for each stage, okay? So the first stage here, we're not gonna talk about normal, okay? Because normal is super duper easy, right? We're gonna talk about agony mode only. But in agony for the first stage, you're gonna get poisoned essentially. There's this mist that deals damage to all operators, and they tick quite a lot. I wasn't sure what was going on because you guys know I don't read, right? I don't read. But once I started dying, I was like, yo, what's going on? But pretty much there's like gas and you just take a lot of damage every tick, a couple percent of your HP. Eventually you'll die. But the good thing is if you bring a healer like Ardelia or if you bring Ember as a shielder, you can tank it. And also if you heal, your teammates will heal as well. So not only is your main active character the one that's taking damage from the poison, all your teammates are taking poison damage, okay? So you definitely want to bring Ardelia. There's no cap to using her. There's no limit to using her, anything like that. And of course, you guys know in agony mode we cannot use tacticals and consumables. So this takes like a couple of tries if you can't kill them fast enough before you die from the poison. But more or less, if you have a decent Ardelia, you have a decent Ember, you should be able to tank it. Or if you're just full DPS and you just nuke them before you die and you don't have a skill issue where you get hit and you take extra damage, like unnecessary damage, then you might die. But it takes a couple tries, no big deal, right? I think the difficulty for this first endgame content is a pretty good difficulty. You have to try a couple times, maybe, which is fantastic, right? Not you don't have to sweat, you don't have to mold like that. Just try a couple times, level up your characters a little bit more if you haven't leveled them up to 80 or 90 yet. But more or less, not too bad of a fight right there. This second fight is probably the easiest one, but it can also be the most annoying one, right? So the enemies cannot move; they're harder to interrupt, and they continuously gain attack. The enemy's attack increases at a much faster rate. So the longer the battle goes on, the harder it is. But still, if you can dodge everything, it's okay. The most annoying thing about this fight is at the very end, the last three mobs that spawn are those three goddamn worms, bro. I hate those worms. They're so annoying. They're spitting poison at you. There's spinning, whatever, bro. They're so annoying. I'm sure everybody hates them as well. But other than that, this is probably the easiest fight. The second fight I would say is the easiest fight. Not too hard, not too difficult. They're just mobs, right? Now let's talk about the last fight here, which I would say is definitely the hardest fight. So you have these two elite bosses, one with the crossbow, one with the axe, and you first fight the guy with the axe first. And once you kill him, or once you get him to low enough HP, the bow guy, the crossbow guy will come out, and then once you knock him or whatever for him as well, both of them will come out at the same time. Okay, so it's pretty. It's not that hard. Okay, but if you like mashing like me, because I just love mashing, and you don't really dodge, and you don't really play patiently as much, you might need to play a little more patiently. Okay, so the two bosses when they're both on the field, so at that third phase when they're both on the field, they will share damage. So honestly, if one is further away from the other one, you can just target the one that's closer to you. Okay, just keep in mind they'll have mechanics like throwing rocks, shooting arrows, big AoE arrows, stuff like that. So just keep in mind that you are going to be dealing with two bosses at the same time, even in the first and second wave, when both of them are not fighting you on the field. Okay, this one also takes a couple tries. A bit of a skill issue on my part. It took me a little longer than I thought, but it was fun, right? It was very, very fun. I enjoyed this endgame mode. It looks like we will have two more endgame modes on top of this, which is very exciting. I can't wait for those to see how those go. But that is it for the mechanics for these boss fights, okay? And like I said, at the end, I'll put one of each of my runs here for you guys to watch if you want. And the last thing that I would like to talk about for this video is the rewards, okay? Are the amount of rewards generous? Okay, so let's take a look. Let's go over to the event menu and take a look and compare to Wuthering Waves. Okay, we're going to compare this endgame tower, right? Tower adversity, technically, and Umbral Monument to each other to see how many rewards we get. Okay, so as you guys can see here, I already got all the rewards. You get 150 for each of these 8 missions. Okay, these are 8 missions. So you have 8 times 150 is 1,200 gems. Okay, and that sounds like quite a lot, right? Because for Wuthering Waves, for Tower, you only get 800. But the biggest problem here, and the reason why Wuwa is more generous and Arknights, I honestly think is a little bit stingy with these rewards, is that in this game, each summon costs 500. In Wuwa, each summon costs 160. So for Wuwa, if you clear the tower, you get 5 whole summons. If you clear Umbral Monument here in Arknights, you only get 2.5 summons. Bruh. You get technically less than half, and I'll explain why it's technically less than half, even though 2.5 is half of 5. But that is pretty bad, right? So the reason why it's less than half is because you need to consider how long these endgame modes refresh. Okay? So for Wuthering Waves, essentially, you the each patch is between 5 and 6 weeks, okay, depending on how many limited new characters there are. But let's just round it up to 6 weeks, okay? So 6 weeks is how many days? 6 weeks is 42 days, okay? 6 weeks is 42 days, which means that we get 1,600 gems for Wuwa in 42 days, which means what? That is 5 summons plus another 5, which is 10. So 10 summons in 42 days. For this game, I don't know exactly how many days the reset was, so I'm just going to round it to maybe 27, right? Let's round it to 27 days. So 27 times 2 for 2 runs of this would be 54 days. 54 days, you get a total of 5 summons. So Arknights, you get 5 summons in 54 days, whereas Wuthering Waves, you get 10 summons in 42 days. Okay? So yeah, that it is what it is. Okay, guys. So it is a little stingy. Honestly, I think they could have gave a little more. Honestly, like 5 summons total, just double all the rewards would have been fantastic. But you guys already know all the gotcha stuff. I will give Arknights credit for one thing for sure. The weapon banners are technically free. Okay, technically free. So that might be why they don't give as many rewards. But like I said, I want to give the devs the benefit of the doubt. The game is amazing. I love this game. It is my second favorite game after Wuthering Waves. Wuthering Waves is an 11 out of 10. This game is a 10 out of 10 in my books. Okay, guys. And yeah. All right, whatever. Going back in. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. Perfect dodges. Final hits. Bet, 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 bet. Let me cook. Let me cook. I'm gonna cook. E1 Lay? Who do you think I am, bro? Bro. Bro, step bro, please. Bro, okay, just get punched in the face like that. Suck it. Suck it. Easy clap. Hardcore stuff. Do I get poisoned here too or no? There's no poison here, right? Nope. Okay, got it. But this one should be even easier, bro. Oh shit, why did I take so much damage? What the hell? Ew, fuck these worms. Oh my god, I hate these stupid ass worms. Fuck these worms, bro. They're so gross. Bro, can you stop? I'm about to die. No way I dodged it. Bro, I hate these stupid ass worms. We win this. We win this. We win this. We win this without my main DPS. Fuck it. Fuck it. Full DPS healer. Oh yeah, suck it. DPS healer, bro. Suck it, suck it, suck it, suck it. Yo, suck it. I won with Ardelia. Hell yeah. Suck it. Damn. Getting cooked. I'm just mashing, bro. I need to chill. If I chill and I focus and I dodge everything, I'll be fine. Why am I already like almost dead, bro? Oh my god, bro. Okay, when he jumps, okay, when he jumps back, he's gonna shoot arrows. I see. Shit, man. I'm 1 HP, bro. I'm literally 1 HP. I'm literally 1 HP. I have no stamina. Ah! Alright, let's kill this big one and then we win. No way, bro. No way. We're winning this. We're winning this. We're winning this. We're winning this. Boom. Beam, 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 beam. Easy clap. I won with Ardelia again. Holy crap. Easy clap. That is it for this video. If you guys found it helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so I'm going to be giving away 2 monthly passes for Valentine's Day. All you have to do is like, comment, subscribe on this video right here, and you'll be automatically entered into that. I will be pulling the winners live on stream because I stream every single night. Okay, guys? And if I don't catch you on stream, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.